What up, everybody? It's your boy Ash, guys. I'm coming to you guys today with a Black Clover discussion video here. I just kind of finished my My Hero Academia discussion video, and I wanted to jump right into this one because we again had back-to-back awesome chapters of Black Clover, getting a lot more in-depth knowledge of how the devil system works and how devil's hierarchy works as well. So I'm going to be talking about chapters 267 and 268, guys. Here, before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell. It means a lot to me seeing that, guys. But let's jump in here. Chapter 267 is called the Devil Binding Ritual, and we pick up where we left off in chapter 266. We get to see what Asta's devil finally looks like, and I was a bit surprised. He's smaller than I thought he would be. He looks so massive in all the silhouettes, but it may just have been the projection of this essence, but the devil looks just like Asta. He's got the same hair, kind of the same face, but he's got the horns coming out in front of him as well with the super long skinny tail, and he looks pretty malice. He's got that crazy arm that Asta had and has like cracks all over him. I'm looking at the photo right now, but really cool photo, and Asta's like, is that what you look like? I expected you to kind of be bigger. So Asta was kind of throwing shade at the devil, which was very funny. But Asta's like, I've really wanted to meet you. I've had something to say, and I thought he was about to be like, I'll never let you take control of my body. But Asta's surprised. Even Noct was like, thank you for everything you've done for me. Obviously, the devil has helped Asta gain some power in some crazy fights and help him win. So Asta's noticed this and taken that into consideration and thanked the devil for everything that he did and helped him through the situations. And the devil was like, are you kidding me? I'm trying to steal your body here. Like, don't thank me. Even Noct is like, don't do that. Devils are just nothing but pure hate and evil. Like, don't start to thank the devil anymore. And even Asta's like, no, man, it's okay, man. He really did a lot for me. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it. And the devil's like, geez, you're one dumb kid. Like, I'm just going to kill you. And Asta's like, I don't think you will, but the devil opens up and takes Asta's grimoire and takes his sword away from him and starts to attack. And this is where I'm like, okay, this devil is about to kill Asta, and Noct's just gonna let it happen, kind of see what happens here. And the devil kind of is serious for a little bit and smacks Asta around. Asta's not really fighting back, and Noct even looks disappointed. He's like, you need to fight back now. Like, you cannot let him win. If he does win, you will turn into this grotesque monster. And we see kind of what that monster would look like here. It just looks like it's all bubble up and he's like crazy faced. Noct's like, if he takes over your body, you're going to turn into some crazy monster and have no self-control at all. And if that happens, I will kill you. So Noct is not playing around, and you see that expression with the lines over his face. Like, Noct doesn't mess around. And I love Noct. I love his character a lot. He's a serious asshole, but he's awesome. I love Noct in this series so far. So Noct is like, this whole building is filled with skulls of people who have failed this devil binding ritual. And if you are one of them, I'll add your skull to this collection. So that's what all the skulls mean. I don't know if that's true or not. It may be just a ploy for Noct to make Asta take this seriously. But Asta asks after he hears that, is like, is this something we're not supposed to be doing? Is this some forbidden magic? I don't think we should be doing this. So Asta like gains a conscience a little too late for my liking. So Noct is like, of course, you're a weakling who had no magic, who wanted to be strong. Like, this is the steps you must take in order to gain strength. And Asta's, and even the devil, he's like, or Noct says, devils have no self-conscious here. They're nothing but evil and hate. And the devil kind of gives into this. He's like, exactly, I'm nothing but pure hatred and evil. I'm scum. All devils are terrible human beings, or not human beings, are terrible things, creatures. You should kill us. And Asta, with surprisingly is like, no, I can tell by your key, you're not trying to kill me. There's something else in you. Just because you're a devil doesn't mean you're a bad guy. And all of a sudden we see the expression of the devil change. And even Noct is surprised by what Asta says. And we've kind of gotten this in a lot of different series where the main antagonist or protagonist has a power inside of him and he has to conquer that power and befriend the power. As we see this in My Hero Academia with him talking to his inner lives, or in One Piece where we're talking to your devil fruits or whatever it is, especially Naruto with obviously Naruto and Kurama, the nine-tailed fox here. He had to fight Kurama, and now they're best friends. Kurama is obviously a great person, just misunderstood. So that, I kind of got that feeling with Asta and the devil. Like, just because you're devil doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just because the nine-tailed fox has been said to be this evil creature doesn't mean he's actually evil. So yeah, it happens, it's a trope, but in a different way. It was kind of cool to kind of see the expression from the devil, and all of a sudden we see this person pop into the devil's mind saying the exact same words Asta said, like, just because you're devil doesn't mean you're a bad person. And a lot of theories blew up after this chapter came in, like, is that Asta's mom? Who is it? And luckily, I didn't make a review of this chapter. I waited to see what I wanted to happen. And then in the next chapter, that's where the chapter ends as well. And we get more information on how the devil system worked here. Obviously, humans have been trying to control devils for lifetimes. And you see this weird mural. Sorry, I'm going back in time a little bit. This mural of devils in chains with scythes around their neck here, and the humans trying to control them. So obviously there's been a dynamic between devils and humans for a long time, where humans have been trying to control the devil powers to an extent, and we see that with the Spade Kingdom and a little bit with Noct and Asta as well, and maybe other mages from around the kingdom. So there is a deep history there of how their relationship worked, and Noct, I think, knows more than he's saying about what's going on here. But that's kind of where the chapter ends, with the devil remembering that certain lady that said the same words as Asta, and that kind of leads us into chapter 268 as well. So chapter 268 is called The Devil, and we kind of get this flashback right away of not Noct, but the devil that was inside Asta, remembering the hierarchy system in the underworld. And he says devils are born in the underworld, and the underworld is really boring. So the strongest devils mess with the medium devils, and the medium devils mess with the lowest ranked devils here. And there's just this constant fluctuation of power and beating up. And the little guy said he was born without magic. So just like Asta, his devil was born without magic, and he's at the lowest of the low totem pole in the devil world. He said there wasn't a day I went without bleeding, which, I mean, it tugged on the heartstrings a little bit. You really, really feel bad for this little devil guy, especially when you see him around the other devils, and they're huge, massive devils, and they're just beating each other up. You see the high-ranking devils are huge, and they're grabbing the medium-sized devil, and the medium-sized devils are like 2 or 3 times bigger than Asta's devils. So those high-ranking devils are massive. And they say that they just mess with each other. If you're weak, you're weak. There's no going up. You can't get stronger. That's just how it is. And there's no more bigger pleasure in the underworld for devils than getting to mess with humans. That's their greatest pleasure. They love messing with the human world and humans in general. So one day, a high-ranking devil grabbed Asta's devil and threw him at a portal, and usually the devils would kind of just explode and break into pieces. But because Asta's devil had no magic, he went straight through the portal just fine and was entered into the human world just like that. Unfortunately, he was beat up and bandaged and bleeding because of the high-ranking devils beating him up so badly, and he just wandered around the human world. So this really, really made you feel bad. I think it was a great job writing in this chapter that he really made you feel for this devil. And despite all the terrible things devils have done, like, you actually felt bad for him. You kind of wanted to give him a hug. I really wanted to pick him up and give him a hug. And as he's walking around, obviously he just looks dejected. He's a kid. He looks like a toddler. Like, he could be 5 or 6 years old. And everyone that sees him is like, oh my God, it's a devil, run away, you're gonna be cursed, like, you're terrible, you're ugly, all the terrible garbage that humans can say as well. Humans are no better than the devils. So they're obviously spitting this garbage at him, and he passes out in the woods after being chased by some magic knights. So he runs away, he falls asleep, he passes out pretty much in the woods, and he wakes up in this lady's house that we saw in the last chapter. She's like, oh, you're awake. And he's like, you're not scared of me? And she's like, no, you're a kid. Why would I be scared of you? And you have no magic. So you're fine. Just take a nap. So a very carefree lady. And we kind of get this relationship between the two. She says, like, why would I be scared of a kid? She pulls out a jar. It's like this tiny little jar. And she's like, I can put things without mana into other things. So she pulls out this jar, opens the top, and pops out a bundle of sticks that she was going to use for the fire. So if it doesn't have mana, she can shrink it and put it into other things willy-nilly. So that was really cool. So she took sticks, shrunk them, put them in a bottle, made it easier to carry. That's kind of a unique power. We don't get to see that one too much. I mean, it's like Mr. Compress or something like that, where he can compress something into a little ball and expand it whenever he wants. But it cannot have magic or mana in it. So really unique power, really cool to see that. That's where her magic is. But she has an additional side effect. She's like, if you think you're being loathed, I mean, I have one that can make you run for the money. And you see this giant snake come out of the rafters to her, and she's like, oh, good example. And the snake just drops, and you see the mana start to come out of its body and its life force. She's like, I have a body that steals life force and mana from individuals. So that's why I was pushed into the outskirts of the village and have to live here alone. She steals mana, she steals life from people. So if she's around anyone, they would die just being around here. And this is very much the same as Henry's power, where he steals mana from other people. And if he sucks all the mana out of someone, they'll die. We see a small clip in the middle of this chapter that makes me think that this is Henry's mother. Talk about that in just a little second. She's like, so don't worry, you're a devil with no mana, and I can't steal your life force. So this is perfect. It's like we're meant to be. Don't you think it's fate? So she's like, stay here, be my son. I'll take care and love you. And the devil is completely taken back. He's never felt an ounce of compassion once in his life. So this lady being like, I love you, I'll take care of you, be my son, completely changed his world. And you see like a montage of them kind of living life together. They're going fishing and playing in the leaves and giving him a bath. So it's very cute, very heartfelt moment that the devil is finally getting to see what compassion feels like and love. And she's like, just because you're a devil doesn't mean you're a bad guy, because and she gives him a name, and it's, I think it's Libe. Libe, you're a good person. And the devil Libe is like, man, I've never felt love before. Someone actually believed in me for something. And as soon as this happened, as soon as he gets the love, the dedication from a certain human, just because it's a human, saying, you're a good person, I love you, all of a sudden you see he collapses, and Lucifero takes over half of his body and starts to kind of talk to, who's this lady? I forget her name is Licta or something like that. I think that's what her name was. But so Lucifero, who is the devil we saw in one of the Spade Kingdom leaders, the one who fought Yami and Asta, that big guy, the crown with the king's crown, who they beat. Lucifero is the devil inside him, and he's one of the highest ranking devils of all time. And Lucifero's like, man, I'm glad I really wasted my time looking for this weakling, because look at that, he found a human, and now I can kind of finally take over and put myself in the human world. And as he does this here, the human is like, oh no you don't, and grabs on to Libe and is like, get out of his body, this is not for you to have. And Lucifero, obviously he's a high-ranking devil, gets a little cocky. He's like, you can't do anything. I'm not going to listen to you, stupid human. I'm just going to take over your body and destroy everything. But as he notices that the human's power is able to draw out mana, he's like, oh God, she's stealing my power. She's like, stop, get off of me, like, get away. And as he does this, he uses Libe's arm and punctures the human right through the chest here. That's an ending blow. Like, obviously she's gonna die from this wound, but he has to retreat. Lucifero has to retreat because he can no longer afford to get his power sucked away from her. Obviously she can suck away his power. He can't afford to do that when he doesn't have full control of a body yet. So he retreats. He's like, don't worry, I'll be back here. Just because you were here this time doesn't mean you'll be there all the time. So I'll be back again to take this idiot's body. And he kind of disappears back into him, and Libe is just absolutely flabbergasted of what happened. He's holding on to his mom. She's dying, and she's like, I'm not gonna let that guy take a hold of you again. And she opens up her jar, and she's like, I'm gonna put you into this jar, put you into this 5-leaf clover book that I found, and you can grow big and strong, manifest your power. So next time it comes around, you'll be strong enough to defend yourself. And she kind of puts him into the book, and that's where he's sealed until Asta opens it up and obviously gets the power inside him. So we get to see how the devil was put in the book and why this devil is so angry all the time. So it was really cool background on the devil life, how they're viewed, how their hierarchy works. So it was really, really good background information. I really love when authors do that to give us readers a sense of how things work in this world and how things are viewed as well. So that was really cool. I really, really appreciate it. I really enjoyed those scenes as well here. Just reading through it, I've read through it a few times, and I really enjoyed that. But as she did this, she obviously passes away, and we kind of cut back to the scene with Asta and the devil. And obviously, the devil kind of shares what his goal is. He's like, I don't care who it is. Devils are scum, and I'm going to do everything in my entire power to make sure I eradicate them from the earth, from the underworld, everything. I will kill every devil scum there is. And you can see the pure hatred for devils. Obviously, because the devils, Lucifero, killed his mother, the only person that ever gave him compassion and love once in his entire life. My dog thinks this is playtime, so Mr. Spider is going to go up here for now. But no, that's where he is. And Asta kind of feels the malice, the hatred coming from this devil. And you can see the scared face that Asta makes. He's like, oh shit, like he's for real right now. Like this is actually his true feelings. He is not playing. He actually wants to kill all the devils here. So that's where the chapter ends. He's like, I'm going to kill all, even if I have to steal your body to do so. So we feel the goal from Lebe. I hope I'm saying that right. Lebe, Asta's devil. And maybe Asta and Lebe will be able to come to an understanding like, hey, Lebe, lend me your power and I'll be able to help you fight these devils and we'll defeat them together. That's where I assume this is going to go here. That's how most of these conversations go, where Asta's going to really have to gear up, knuckle up, and beat this devil down until he understands like, hey, I will help you, but this is my body and I'm going to control it at our will. So you can either help me or you can be locked away, but this is only going to go one way. This is my body. I'm not going to let you take over it. So either they're going to work together or Asta's going to have to beat him into submission. Either way, I think they're going to form a bond, and Noct is going to be there to kind of be like, okay, that's a weird way to do it, but I guess it worked out. So we'll see where this goes. We're going to get a chapter. This is coming Sunday, I believe, the 25th. Yes, that is the 25th. That's a Sunday. So we'll get a chapter this Sunday. So no break this week for Black Clover. So guys, comment below. What was your favorite part of chapter 267 and 268 here? What did you think of the hierarchy system of the devils and how they mess with each other? And do you think that we did get a scene? Sorry, I didn't want to cut over it. We did want to see a scene of the human kind of leaving a basket by a door, and I'm trying to find where the scene was. 1 second. And she says, this time I'm not letting go. And you see her kind of putting a basket by a building. And I want to say that's Henry, that she left Henry with someone, and that's who picked up Henry and left him in the Black Clover Kingdom. Not Black Clover Kingdom, Black Clover hideout. And that's why he has that same power system where he kind of sucks out mana and people's life forces. So this may be Henry's mother. She has the same powers. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. We'll see where that goes, if we find out at all. But they just have the same power output. I thought that was an interesting note. But comment below, guys, what was your favorite parts of chapter 267, 268, the hierarchy system of the devils, and will Asta beat down Lebe, or will they come to an understanding and not have to fight it out, despite Noct saying they had to? So comment below, guys, with your thoughts on these chapters. Hopefully you guys enjoy Black Clover. My Hero Academia and One Piece have been absolute amazing chapters, guys. We are lucky as fans to get so many amazing series out all at the same time here, guys. I can't complain at all. I'm just a happy guy. I love this. So if you guys love it, let me know. That's it for me for today, guys. Peace. Have a fantastic day.